Hello, welcome to part 3 of our SHAREfactory tutorial systems. Today we are going to be teaching you the intros. More importantly, we're going to teach you how to make that precise intro, as well as a few other bells and whistles along the way, as well as a custom intro. But for now, you want to go into your shooter theme. Very, very nice little default theme. This kind of covers most games that kick around at the minute. From there, you want to load up your shooter theme. Doesn't really matter what you call it. You'll be confronted with that monstrosity. So thanks to the editing, we will get rid of all them. By process of elimination, we will delete them. You push square, delete sticker, delete effects, yada yada yada. So from here, we're going to come through, we're going to start up and just kind of recreate what you saw. Now you can do a fair bit once you've got the text up. You can change the color of it, make it pop out a little more. Sadly, you've kind of only got these default colors. You haven't got a full spectrum, but there's hope for patches and things like that. You can change the opacity. You can make it more see-through. If you want a tiny little watermark, you can kind of write your username and tuck it in a corner and make it opaque so that everybody can see it. You can organize the alignment, whether it's justified in the center or to the right. And obviously, using the left stick, you can move it around and put it where you want, so to speak. But yeah, there are obviously some limitations with these, but I find them alright. How I tend to do these is sort of an NXN DJ 1982 presents underneath in smaller writing, because obviously you just kind of want the main words popping out. You want the game, you want whatever. And it just kind of works out very, very nicely. Once you've got the knack of these, you'll find that there's a lot of different defaults along the way that you can use. And you can, I'm about to show you in a few seconds what a lot of the different default themes are, how to find them. So there we have 2 minutes. A custom intro. I'll just let you guys have a quick look at some of the other stuff that we can do along the way. So those are some of the more generic, all-encompassing title screens that you can use as kind of a catch-all if you want to create a series. But if you want to create something a little more personal to the actual game itself, you can use screenshots. If you push X and then push add, go to add screenshot, you can then bring up all this where it'll give you all the screenshots. There's me in a turkey onesie. And you can kind of create your own little custom thing off there if you just push X and then you can add on. But you do need video clips first there, but you can delete them afterwards. So we've got a little screenshot sat there of my character in GTA 5 swimming in the water. If you're actually planning any of these, you can kind of remove all the HUD, you know, the heads-up display, get rid of the map, so it just does look a little more graphically excellent. And obviously I am kind of recreating the Nevermind album cover there. Only, obviously, not only while still wearing clothes, because obviously that's kind of important. So this is just an extra little layer to it of what you can do, where you can create something a little more personalized. I mean, it would work quite nicely as an outro system. Obviously, you don't get no audio, nothing moves. It's just a static shot. You can also change the length. You can create a still frame that goes on for 10 minutes if you want, but obviously that's not really fun. You realistically want your video about 8 seconds long, between like 5 and 8 seconds long, just to kind of grab people's attention and just sort of, here's what we're doing. So yeah, that's those two bits and pieces. Let's have a look at some of the bits and pieces you can do with screenshots. So here's a nice little Witcher intro. You could want to put your episode title down the bottom there. DC Universe. Again, you can trim all the intro HUDs. I've got these set to like 5 seconds. WWE 2K, you can have your custom character pulling a pose, or do what you want. GTA 5, there's hundreds you could do with that. Just a few different bits and pieces. The Unfinished Swan is another one. But you can add a little more sizzle to the steak if you're willing to hunt around enough. So say like that Witcher screenshot, it's alright, but there's nothing that really pops. So we're going to try and upgrade that. We're going to create a theme. It doesn't really matter what theme. Just going to tinker around with the titles. Now you take this literally from the title screen, this little video that you see here. And it's quite nice. It's quite long, obviously, but you go in here, you push square, delete that sizzle clip that I accidentally added at the end, and you try and sort of have a little look around, see what bits really pop. Now, throughout most of this, it's pretty much the same, no matter what you do. So from here, you push square. You can either go trim clip, which will bring up this, which you can slide. You know, you use the left and right sticks and the shoulder buttons as a fine tuner if you wish. But there is an alternative way if you want a more visual representation, which is in the split clip. Now, if you move it right to left, you can see that little X in the corner there, next to the little arrow on the right. Now, if you push L2, it'll come up if you want to snip clip, and it'll just trim that little end bit off, or big end bit off. But if you push X, you will split the clip in. It'll give you the option to split the clip, at which point you can then split it completely in two. So we aim for about 8 seconds again, and they'll then have different sections, and you can mess around with that one quite a lot. But for the sake of ease, we just delete the other half, and away we go. And here's our little 8 seconds of joy. I will put the information for bits and pieces, like adding custom music as well. Hopefully that'll come in the edit. So we go down to our text. That's in add FX once you push X. So we want our traditional NXN DJ 1982. Or maybe we just want NXN DJ. No, we want the 1982. But there's a lot you can do with this. For beat 'em up games in particular, you can use like the character viewers that you've got. I mean, if you scroll through some of my videos, you'll see some of the Mortal Kombat series where I've done that with the character viewers, to get a nice little intro and then just put writing around it. And again, if you use a smaller little writing, see, this one's quite nice because you've got the Witcher logo there all standing there and it's actual motion. And underneath it, so you've got a template here as a base reading where you can add underneath it. So say like down the bottom here where that arrow is pointing, you've got the you could add extra effects and give it a title or a, you know, here are the fails, here's where the million places where Roach has appeared, etc. But you can also add music. You can add custom music again, which hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in somewhere. Just some examples. I like that. That seems like a custom thing. But when you load up the song, it will load up all of the song. So obviously you need to trim all that down as well. And to be honest with you, in this one it is easier to trim music. It is a little trial and error. You've kind of got to use the R1 and R2 shoulder buttons to kind of fine tune it. I mean, there it's a little short. So we'll stretch it out a little bit more. Still not quite there. A little bit more. See, now I think that one's a little bit over. You kind of got to look. There's a fraction of a second where that little logo is displayed. So we trim it down just literally one little touch, and there we have it. A little pro tip for the intro music is to have it fade out. 0.5 seconds usually does it, because that way if you're cross-fading into your actual video, things like that, you can do it. And if you whack the volume right up, you can change that later when you're making your actual videos, and you can kind of find a sweet spot. So yeah, there's that. And that's what it looks like in all its entirety. From there, you just push your options button. Or you have to push circle again to get back to your main menu, which is kind of annoying, but there it is. You then push your options button, export to gallery, and you can then add and cut and paste as you choose. So here we're going to show you how we blend it all into a clip. First of all, we need a clip. Clips are important. Do we want that? Oh no, that one's storyline based. You might not want that one. Okay, that one doesn't really tell you anything. We'll probably go with that one. So we deselect the other one, and away you go. So here we go. Now a little editing tip is obviously you want to fine tune. If you split your clip, you generally find somewhere where you started. So I don't want the little map bit. So we do the snip clip that was shown previously. And from here, again, you got to push circle to back out onto your main little bit. Golden tip, if you're not doing commentaries, always whack the volume up. So from here we want to add a nice little transition just to get a nice little fade through. I think we just want to fade through black so that you get this. And into the game. Right, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.